If you've been following my story, you've probably heard me talk a lot about why I want to go study education policy, and the reason being that I want to sort of disrupt oppression and make the education system a more equitable place for all students. Many of you may be wondering, what exactly does that look like, at least to me? And I think the best way to answer that question is to start with my personal relationship with the education system. So I grew up in Chelsea, Manhattan. I grew up in one of two housing projects in the neighborhood, was raised by my mom and my grandmother, and I think growing up in Chelsea honestly provided me with the best chance I had at breaking out of poverty, given just the affluence of the neighborhood. I was in schools where there were pretty much an abundance of resources that I was able to take advantage of. So I credit a lot of my current success to two things. One, being hardworking, but two, and I think more importantly, being in schools where I was rewarded for the hard work that I was putting in. Unfortunately, there are many students who grow up in low-income communities who are not as fortunate as I was. They become trapped in schools that just lack the materials they need to break out of poverty. And I think there's a common misconception about these types of students. I think there are a lot of people out there who think these students are just lazy, or maybe they're just not as intelligent as some other students, but I would say that is not the case at all. I think what it really comes down to is there are a ton of hardworking students who come from these underrepresented backgrounds, but unfortunately they are oftentimes just forgotten by the system, or are not in systems or schools that reward them for that hard work they are doing. So when I say I want to disrupt oppression, what I'm really trying to say is that I want to attack the systemic issues plaguing our education system today. I want students to feel as though with education that they have a real chance of not only breaking out of poverty, but breaking the generational shackles that have been tying them down. There are a few ways I can go about this. As someone who's always enjoyed being in mentorship roles, I think working at a nonprofit where I can work directly with students and even their families in urban communities and sort of help them receive access to resources, education resources that they may have not found otherwise. I also enjoy doing research, and there are two topics of research that interest me quite a bit, one of them being integration programs. So programs that pretty much take students that are coming from underrepresented backgrounds and giving those students the opportunity to attend schools outside of their district, usually schools that are in more affluent neighborhoods. So not only are these schools becoming more diverse, but the students who are coming from these underrepresented backgrounds are given the chance to be in schools that might have more resources to reward them for that hard work that they are doing. The other area of research that I'm really interested in is non-traditional teaching methods. So pretty much just looking at how to redesign curriculum to sort of keep it up to date with modern times, and understanding that not all students learn the same way. So your traditional core courses you think about when you think about the K-12 curriculum, maybe adding some adjustments to those to be more inclusive of everyone's learning styles and help better prepare students given their personal identity and the background that they're coming from.